Yo, what's going on, guys? We're back with another Warzone patch notes update video. Today is the mid-season update for Season 2 of Warzone Pacific. It's going to be a huge update, so I'm going to try and skip as much of the boring stuff and get to the chunky, juicy, meaty stuff as possible, looking at the new map update for Rebirth Island. It's going to be a good one, so let's not waste any time and get straight into it. The first thing we've got up the top is the weeks ahead, the playlist update for the weeks ahead. So it's pretty good to see that they're planning far in advance. I'm going to skip out the Caldera stuff because I don't really care. Rebirth Island, keeping quads. We're getting a payload 12v12, which we'll probably get more into understanding what that game mode's about later in the video. Keeping quads, blood money quads, so that's like plunder, more payload. As we move into April 14th, we got Iron Trios, which would be interesting to try out. Let me know in the comments what you thought about Iron Trios duos. We've got blood money quads, and obviously the standard modes. And looking into 21st of April, we've also got the standard modes and Iron Trials quads. So that could be pretty sick to see. I know they're testing this out, and I think we'll end up getting this as the permanent rule set at some stage with the higher TTK. And the more health, the more armor. So what we've got general updates to this private match update. Resurgence Rebirth, a variety of fixes and adjustments have been made to better simulate the experience found in public matches. Rebirth mini royales has been disabled. Vanguard weapons now have inspect animations, so that's pretty cool. A lot of content creators will love to see this. They can get better thumbnails for the Vanguard weapons now. Some gameplay adjustments. Deployable buy stations added as a legendary loot box. The deployable buy station is a field upgrade that once a marker is deployed, it can be called in a buy station location. Deployable buy stations have the same inventory as normal buy stations. Deployable buy stations will show up on the TAC map as their own unique icon. Okay, I wonder if that's going to be team specific, or are they for everyone once they're deployed. Gas marks. Players can now drop their gas masks, whether they want to give it to a squad mate out of choice or through the drop down menu, inventory menu. That's pretty huge. Armor satchels. People can now collect plates within ground loot armor satchels, even if they're currently equipped with an armor satchel. That's pretty huge. Armor satchels now show how many plates they have in their current loot card. That was quite annoying when they updated the inventory system. You couldn't see how many plates you actually had left. Recovery. This is a huge one. Whilst downed, players will be able to control the state that they'll be revived in. At the moment, you pop up as soon as you've been revived, and that's pretty annoying when you're behind some cover and you want to stay prone. So that's huge. Contracts. So updates to some contracts. Not too interested in that. Smoke grenades. Improvements have been made to better distinguish visual differences between loadout markers and the smoke grenades at the buy station, so that's pretty handy when they're dropped. Parachutes. Players can now cut their parachutes at any point before the feet touches the ground. This is massive. An adjustment's been made to slightly increase the height required to be able to deploy a parachute in order to reduce the false positives of parachute opening when jumping at angled or low heights. Okay, so that's pretty cool. No additional bug fixes in development to fix certain operator parachutes. Cool. Okay. Heavy weapon drops in public events. Blah 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 blah. Fire sales. Commendations. Okay. Right. So we've got new Rebirth Island ingredients. I wasn't sure if these were going to be for all game modes or just Rebirth Resurgence, but it looks like we're getting weapon trading stations across the board. So these allow you to trade in weapons for various equipment, commodities such as armor satchels, kill streaks, cash, and more. Here's a complete list of trading opportunities. So we won't go into this in too much detail, but the fire sale will accept any weapons. Players can only do this one time per station. Basically, depending on the level of rarity, you can get extra loot. Legendary custom heroic weapon rarity, we can get some extra bits there. Uncommon rarity, you get a lethal or tactical equipment. So it's basically commoditizing things you've already got and being able to trade them into things that you might actually want. So you can actually get maybe a new grenade or a new stim by trading in a uncommon gun. So that's pretty fucking cool, if you ask me. Common rarity weapons, randomized common rarity guns, communications towers. So, excuse me, players may spend 1,500 or 5,000 in plunder cash to essentially pay for one UAV ping. So this will ping off once for $1,500, so you can get that really essential intel. Stage blueprints and items. Golden Vault and secrets. There's a new version of Rebirth Island, contains many secrets and bunkers. Oh, so a load of new Easter eggs located and doors to be unlocked. So it'd be interesting to see, and I'll definitely drop a video if we work this out soon on how to get that sorted. So events. In the events, the new event is Rebirth Reinforced, and this is a community challenge mode. All operators need to work together. 4 community challenges will unlock new gameplay elements and provide massive amounts of XP. Operators get combined 20 billion kills on Rebirth Island to unlock weapon trading stations and earn 25,000 XP. Operators must trade in a certain amount of weapons to get more XP and open up the communication towers, and armored truck deployment in public event. Blood money to unlock the gold mystery vault. Okay, so maybe the reinforced event, you have to get these done for these in-game elements to be there. I don't think they're all available in all the public games, so it'd be interesting to see how quickly we get those unlocked. Participation challenge. We also have 4 participation challenges. Wipe 3 enemies in solos, which we'll get onto more in a sec. Trade in 30 legendary weapons. Push or halt payload for 20 minutes, and the rewards are cosmetic skins and lots of different amounts of XP. So moving on to modes, we've got Rebirth Island payload, Rebirth Island blood money, and Rebirth Island resurgence solo. So this is going to be the resurgence mode that we know and love from Verdansk, and this is you get 1 free life, and once you die you come back. You have to get a certain money threshold, I believe, to stay alive for another life. I don't know how much that is, it doesn't say just yet, but we might get into that shortly. New public events on all modes: armored truck deployment, Vanguard events, Rebirth Sports Vanguard public events such as weapon drops, cash drops and restock, Juggernaut armor drops. Okay, so we're going to get Juggernaut on Rebirth Island. That's pretty insane. Rebirth Resurgence. Following feedback from the community, all players drop the same weapon on spawn, and respawns and weapons will change each circle. Okay, so sometimes you drop with a pistol or maybe a 6.9 or a Milano or whatever it is. They will change every circle, so that'd be cool. Players spawn with weapons from Cold War, Modern Warfare and Vanguard. Added an icon to clarify when spawn protection is still active. So that's when you're coming in. You've got when you're trying to shoot people out of the sky, it protects you slightly, gives you a bit more health. Rebalanced the quantity of contracts and type to make secret and supply drops more scarce. Free loadout drops will now drop approximately 50 meters closer to the squad to improve accessibility. So they won't be miles away on the other side of the map, they will now be right with you. Battle Royale, Vanguard Battle Royale, there is a huge default health increase by 50 up from 100. That's a 50% increase in all standard Battle Royale modes, so that's pretty good to see. Dead Silence will remain legendary, few changes to contracts and public events. Now we're going to get onto the juicy stuff. The juicy stuff is the map update for Rebirth Island. So Rebirth Island adjustments, overall updates have increased the amount of loot in less visited areas, basically to try and, I guess, spread out the fighting. We've added plenty of cover in hotspots where players usually get killed, giving them a better chance to fight back. New features. We've got some environmental updates, a new skybox. So we're delivering a bright and sunny afternoon sky that's beloved by the community with a few twists. Drastic sun orientation update to change the shape of the shadows throughout the map. and also added stormy and dramatic clouds onto the horizon. So I wonder what that would be. It might tie into a bit of storyline there, maybe for Modern Warfare 2. New lightning and atmosphere. We've doubled down on the bright and vibrant colours treatment globally, and we've updated the atmospheric fog to match the new skybox. So it's probably going to be similar to Caldera. New signs and murals. So this is removing a lot of the hammer and sickle, or the Soviet Union related signage and murals in respect for Ukraine. So that's great. That's a big shout. I'm glad they've done that. Redeploy balloons have arrived on Rebirth Island, but with a few twists. Destroyed by default, less health, and in between 0 and 4 balloons active only at one time. So really interested to see what sort of gameplay that makes and where they are spotted around the map. Gulag revamp, the mid-season. Gulag's been modified to create a more engaging experience for Iron Trials. So most people probably weren't familiar with the old Gulag, but they have updated that. So cool to see how that turns out. I've got a previous video on the update for the POIs, but security is now becoming Stronghold. We've got this big old 3-story radio tower, which has got good line of sight over to living quarters. We've got this nice kind of entry building, 2 stories with a roof and a gangway across the middle. Definitely going to create some more interesting engagements down in security, not just an open beam up from the ledge. So yeah, really excited to see how that plays out. Shore has become docks. So the shore that was pretty much just a load of boxes and maybe the helicopter has now got a big old ship, and that's going to be really exciting. There's multiple entry points into that. So yeah, really cool. Definitely going to see how that plays out. Prison yard. They've added a load of scaffolding out the front to make kind of flanking a bit easier to the roof, making that less of a primary dominant position. They've also added a bit of extra cover to the walkway around the side of prison courtyard. So again, see how that plays out. Definitely really welcome updates to that area. Nova 6 has also got itself a big old boat, similar to the docks, and yeah, I won't go into that in too much detail. Just have to see how it plays out. Added some UI UX improvements. All platforms, Ukrainian flag has been added to both Warzone and Modern Warfare. It's a free calling card, and you can now equip this. So if you want to show a bit of respect to Ukraine, definitely see a lot of people equipping this. Mouse scrolling speed, improvements to gamepad navigation, options, menu, sub-tabs, improvement to mouse and keyboard navigation, blah blah blah. PC only. Players will now be able to see the world storytelling shown on the front end screen, previously exclusive to console players. Okay, interesting. Don't know really what that means. The update requires a restart. Pop-up will now restart your client automatically after 5 seconds. That's pretty handy. Added a button to leave a squad in the play tab when in a party. Okay, that's cool. And airplane sensitivity multiplier has been split into helicopter sensitivity and airplane sensitivity, so this is more if you're playing Vanguard mode. Bug fixes, we've got a few bug fixes for pings. So the pings are now more consistent around redeployed balloons. We've got a few blueprint updates, armor strength blueprint, blah blah blah. We've got a big fix for Xbox users and the multiplayer privileges set to block when trying to join players' parties. So that could be a big one if you're suffering with that. The wallable cover has been used, access outside map areas, that's been fixed, that's really good. Any more issues, they've got a Trello board, and you can find that on their Twitter, so definitely check that out if you want to see in more detail tracking of those issues. New weapons, so we're getting a new SMG. This is a super fast fire rate for short to medium range, so this is going to be really lethal in shotgun sort of ranges, and it's probably going to tail off on a range perspective as you get further into the AR kind of field. So definitely be cool to see how that. I'm not sure how you unlock that one just yet, but I will definitely make a video on it, so be sure to subscribe on that one. Weapon adjustments, we've got some tweaks to some of the weapons. The Vargo has been nerfed slightly. and the Volk has the gun kick adjusted. The marksman rifle, the G43, the M1 have both been slightly buffed. The SVT, which is that nasty little weird sniper thing, it's had a bullet velocity increase. Melee, most melee weapons now execute a melee finisher on the second consecutive strike. So this is a change significant, as the melee weapon damage deals 133, which if left unchanged would have consistently required 3 hits to kill, increase base health. So this is a pretty big buff to melee. Shotguns have been nerfed slightly. Sniper rifles been fixed, aim assist fixes for controller. The Sten has had a slight buff, and the well gun has had a fire rate decrease, so a slight nerf to the fire rate there, and the recoil has been increased. So the well gun might actually have had a quite significant nerf here. We'll have to see how that plays out. Attachments. The hollow point damage range has now been decreased by 20%, so they've significantly nerfed the hollow point damage. It says hollow point has been heavily leaned on by submachine guns with good reason. Previously, damage range penalty rarely affected most common engagement distances, so that's been heavily decreased. So you might want to be looking at either lengthened or maybe subsonic in place of that. We've got some changes to some barrels for different guns. It probably isn't going to affect us too much. Well gun, shrouded barrel, the recoil was decreased, so recoil control was decreased, so that's actually another significant nerf to that overpowered well gun. A new meta for SMGs will be emerging soon. Some magazine changes again, some changes to the iron horn shotgun, and some changes to the well gun. Max fire rate decrease, so again a pretty substantial nerf there. Perks and rear grips sniper rifles have been changed, and that pretty much wraps up that video. So I'm super excited to get into this. I will be streaming this tonight around sort of 8:30 GMT, so definitely subscribe, get locked in, come say hello, see what the new map's all about, and bring some good vibes, bring some positivity. Hopefully you found that useful. If you're too lazy to read it, if you didn't, fair enough, but if you did, please do consider subscribing, as I do cover most of the content in COD, and also just get jiggy, get sweaty on stream. So yeah, we're all here for the good times, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.